A lot to cover today in Washington. So joining us now with more insight in today's budget meeting is Washington Post White House editor Dave Clark.
Dave, thanks for being with us tonight. Let's talk about that big sales effort that we just described here. Can you give us a sense of what went on in that closed-door lunch between the president and members of his party?
Well, our reporting is that it was fairly celebratory. Biden went there. He kind of led a rah-rah session. He really tried to rally the 50 Democratic senators around this $3.5 trillion plan. There was not a lot of dissent or a lot of questions raised about it. Obviously, the deal that they struck recently was only really the top line number, $3.5 trillion. There's still a lot of work to do, so there are problems ahead for Senate Democrats and President Biden. But right now, they're feeling pretty optimistic about it. But they have a lot of difficult choices to make here. It's a sprawling bill. They have to figure out how to pay for it. That's going to be key to getting the moderate Democrats to support it. So it's early in the process, but today was a pretty unifying moment for the party.
Well, Dave, aren't there two bills that he's pushing right now? And what are the difference between the two? And where does Senator Joe Manchin stand? Because he could go both ways.
So there are two bills. The first bill is a bipartisan bill, which is focused mostly on traditional infrastructure projects, roads, bridges, tunnels, airports. And that's one that was struck by a bipartisan group of senators. And that's got a $1 trillion price tag on it. And they're hoping to have that ready as soon as next week, and they all the senators involved are still sounding optimistic notes on that. It will still be a heavy lift. The Democrats will need to keep 10 Republican senators on board to pass that. Now, the second bill is far more sweeping, and it encompasses a lot. It's health care, immigration, climate change, and that's a bill that will have to be passed only with Democratic support through this so-called reconciliation process, where you can take basically spending and tax measures and only rely on 50 votes for that. So there are two bills. The $3.5 trillion one is what they were celebrating today, but that's got weeks, if not months, ahead of work. But the bipartisan $1 trillion bill we could see come out pretty soon.
Yeah, maybe next week, right? Well, just focusing on the larger package here, Dave, the $3.5 trillion one, because of the safety net programs, because of the climate change issues, how drawn out a process will that piece of legislation be, do you think?
Well, there's a lot of details in it. So, the mechanics of it are the Budget Committee has basically set the top line number and the parameters, but then it'll be up to other committees to kind of work out the details. So that it could be a months-long process with plenty of challenges ahead. You'd earlier asked about Senator Joe Manchin, and he's sort of the key vote on almost everything that happened in the Senate. And, he was supportive of this $3.5 trillion plan, but he made two things clear. One was that he wants it to be paid for. And Democrats are saying that it will not add to the deficit, that there will raise taxes on corporations and people making more than $400,000 to pay for it. But the second thing that he's concerned about are the climate change provisions in there. He does not want the bill to target the fossil fuel industry, and in particular the coal industry, which is important to the state of West Virginia. So those are the reservations he aired today. But the $3.5 trillion proposal, that's going to take weeks, if not months, to work out. But the separate $1 trillion bipartisan proposal that focuses more on traditional infrastructure projects, that we could see that as soon as next week.
Dave, are you hearing that possibly the fact that Joe Biden is a former senator, he was in the Senate for so many years, can help him to get this passed?
Yeah, that's part of the White House's feeling here, is that he has an understanding of the Senate. He has existing relationships with people, so that he's he knows how to work the process. But it's been a while since he has been in the Senate, since 2008 or 2009, when he was President Obama's vice president. And a lot's changed since then. It's become a more partisan institution. Right. So the sort of the days of the Senate that Joe Biden talks about and remembers, they aren't necessarily what's going on now. But certainly but certainly he understands how legislation is passed and how to build it. So that'll be something that will help him.
Yeah, and he never stops talking about it. Thanks, Dave Clark from Washington Post. Be safe, be well.
You too.
Thanks.